2, 1.
7 things you probably didn't know you need to know. I'm Jamie East, and this is the Smart 7.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's Friday the 29th of October, and it's Internet Day. And a big happy birthday to Richard Dreyfuss, Jolie Fisher, Edwin van der Sar and Winona Ryder.
7.
Rishi Sunak was basking in the budget afterglow on Thursday, and he began the day heaping praise on the world-famous Burnley Market during a visit to Bury in Greater Manchester, a mere 20 miles out, but at least you don't need to be exact with figures or anything, buddy.
A lot of what we announced yesterday, the Levelling Up Fund, bids like Burnley Market, world-famous Burnley Market, benefiting from £20 million of investment.
Whilst at Bury Market, he spoke to BBC Breakfast about raising more tax this year than any Chancellor since 1993.
I'm not happy about that, and I'm not comfortable at it, but it is the result of the country and the economy suffering an economic shock, the likes of which we haven't seen in 300 years, and our response to that. But from this point on, I said my priority is to be able to cut taxes for people, and we took the first step on that journey yesterday by cutting taxes for millions of the lowest paid.
He was also questioned on why more help wasn't announced in his budget for people who are out of work or unable to work. Rishi was understandably keen to keep the key messages on track.
A year ago, we increased something called the local housing allowance, which helps our most vulnerable families with their housing bills. And actually, yesterday we outlined an enormous increase in spending on public services. So all the people that you described, I would imagine, benefit from public services in lots of different ways.
6.
There were 39,842 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday and an additional 163 deaths announced. Case numbers have remained persistently high, but despite that, the government's pushing ahead with a plan to remove the final 7 countries on the UK's red travel list. That means those returning from Colombia, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, Haiti, Panama, Peru and Venezuela will no longer be required to quarantine for 11 days in hotels. Transport Secretary Grant Shapps explains the latest changes.
As of Monday, there will in fact be 0 countries, no countries at all, on the red list, which is another great boost for travel and for all those people employed in the travel sector as well, of course.
But the red list will still theoretically exist, and Downing Street isn't ruling out another U-turn if necessary.
We don't want to have to sort of reset up a system from scratch if a particular concern was seen in a particular country, and we wanted to be able to have quarantine as a mandatory facility. So we're just keeping those in standby.
Hey, have you checked your Meta status yet today? That's right, Facebook's changing its name. Well, Facebook's still Facebook, but Mark Zuckerberg is changing the name of the overall company to Meta. It's an opportune time to launch a new brand as Facebook comes under increasing pressure with the whistleblower testimony and the leaks of the Facebook papers. Mark says the new name's intended to reflect the broader focus on the exciting new world of the metaverse.
It is time for us to adopt a new company brand to encompass everything that we do. To reflect who we are and what we hope to build, I am proud to announce that starting today, our company is now Meta. Our mission remains the same. It's still about bringing people together. Our apps and their brands, they're not changing either. And we are still the company that designs technology around people.
A 19-year-old man who randomly murdered 2 sisters in a London park last summer has been jailed for 35 years. Mina Smallman, the mother of Bilba Henry and Nicole Smallman, spoke about her loss.
They were real people with hearts. Biba has left behind a daughter who has given birth to a son in the last year, and I'm a great-grandmother. And because of COVID, I only met him for the first time at the celebration of life. So life is going on. There is a legacy.
Home Secretary Priti Patel says the Met Police also have questions to answer around the events that evening.
This is a terrible, terrible, tragic case. It really is. And I think it's right, actually, that the questions are being asked within the Metropolitan Police right now as well. This actually comes back to the work and the leadership this government is providing when it comes to addressing the abhorrent issue of violence against women and girls.
Still to come on the Smart 7, good news for Josh Cavallo and Sky have a new Olivia Coleman show on the way, right after this.
You're listening to the Smart 7. If you're enjoying it, you might also like the Smart 7 Ireland edition. Just search and follow us on your favourite podcast platform. A small but significant piece of history was made on Wednesday as Josh Cavallo became the first top-flight male professional football player to come out as gay. He plays for Australian side Adelaide United, and the club have fully supported his announcement. He popped up on BBC Breakfast to explain how it's gone since he told the world where his head was at.
Today I woke up and I've closed that old book and opened the real book of Josh Cavallo. I've never smiled this much in my life. I had the best rest sleep last night knowing that I could finally be myself and not live a life of lies to the people I care about the most. So look, my cheeks are very sore today, but it is a good thing to have.
There's a new movie on the way called Passing. It's based on a 1929 book by Nella Larson, which follows the story of two black women living in New York. One passes for white and has a white husband who doesn't know she's black. The other lives her life as a black woman. It's directed by Prestige star Rebecca Hall, whose own grandfather hid his origins, and it wowed critics at the Sundance Film Festival. It stars Irish actress Ruth Negga.
Well, the thing about Claire is that she refuses the restrictions and the constraints placed upon her by society. And that's actually, it was criminal. And I just loved that sort of misfit revolutionary who has no desire to be a revolutionary. All she has a desire is to live a genuine life, and to be fully herself.
Sky have just announced a major new original drama called Landscapers, starring Oscar-winning National Treasure Olivia Colman and David Thewlis. Inspired by real-life events, the pair play a seemingly average middle-aged couple who've been on the run from police for 15 years until finally, events eventually catch up with them. It premieres on the 7th of December.
Yesterday morning, 2 bodies were found buried in the back garden of a house in Mansfield.
Is this your signature? No comment.
It's okay, Susan, you can answer.
Sorry, yes, that's my signature.
Following is an account of the events as I recall them.
First task is to prove that it's rubbish.
Are you sure Chris wasn't involved? I keep telling you, Chris wasn't there!
Second task is to work out what actually happened.
No need to make anything up. Just tell them the truth.
This has been The Smart 7. Wherever you're listening, do us a favour and hit the follow button. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Have a great day.
Produced and published by Daft Doris.